Okay, welcome to the show Eat with the Owner.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. And what's your name?
Michelle
Michelle. And the last name?
Wong.
Oh, Wong.
Wong
Okay.
with W-O-N-G.
Okay, great. Sometimes in Chinese, in Mandarin, with W-A-N-G, right?
Yes, it is.
But in Hong Kong, it's always W-O-N-G, right?
And there's also the Vietnamese style with an H-U-A-N-G.
Really?
Yeah.
H-U-A-N-G is Huang in Chinese, in Mandarin.
In Vietnamese, I think sometimes there's some overlaps.
Oh, yeah, cool. Great, great. Yeah, so do you want to look at the camera so at least we both face the front face? Yeah.
Hi, Chow.
So actually, first time we met, like I saw your video with the Heidi Small.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I was actually on the phone texting her just now because I forgot that we rescheduled from last week to this week, and I actually had a meeting with her today, and I just told her, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Heidi. It's gonna be Thursday, so it's all good."
Okay, great. Actually, to to save the time, we can order now, so the kitchen can prepare.
Amazing.
And, I assume you are familiar with Chinese food, right?
I've had a couple of Chinese meals in my life, yes. Hey, this one doesn't have your commentary.
No, it's that's only
I'm
on
so disappointed. I really wanted to see that.
That's on the website, because otherwise it's going to be super long. People are going to be really mad. Like, what's this? Like 10 pages, 12 pages.
This is a lifestyle restaurant, like you said. I'm sure they expect the entertainment with the food.
Yeah. Even I guess I do have a complaint on the mobile phone. We look at online menu. It's a one column, so it's super long. Like you need to scroll up like a lot of times. One customer saying, "Oh, it's like why don't you have two columns?" But on the laptops, computer, they do have two columns. But
yeah, the format's a little different across different.
And it's super long. We have
devices.
almost 50 items, so you scroll up like taking really long time.
Do I make all the decisions, or will you help me out?
You can choose all because I choose.
You've eaten it before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna try your suan la tang, the hot and sour soup. Yeah. We're also gonna be trying. Oh wow.
A lot of them are very traditional Chinese food.
It is very traditional. I didn't expect this.
Yeah, it's.
You have the 3-cup chicken.
Yeah, that's from Taiwan. Yeah.
That's really cool. Let's try that.
Yeah. You want to try that? Oh,
yeah.
Sure. That's the thing. Sometimes I feel like I cannot do a business because at the beginning, 7 and almost 8 years ago, I tried to decide to have a restaurant. The menu I wanted to have the menu full authentic Chinese food, the traditional, and then that would die the first day, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. So the chef, my wife, and the people close involved in the decision making, they told me we have to have North American Chinese food on the menu, otherwise, very tough.
I think you underestimate the level of sophistication of the eaters today. People are a lot more informed. People are willing to try, and eventually, it's the restaurants that are authentic that will be competitive.
That's really true today. But 8 years ago, and don't forget, our restaurant was in Cantonese.
Ah, okay.
So it's not downtown. If you are real downtown, you have a lot of adventurous people. A lot of them being to China, staying in China for several years, like our customer, the local people, French, English, or the people from Quebec, Montreal. A lot of them, they spent several years in China. Okay. We have a lot of customers like that.
Interesting. Okay. So that does affect the type of food that you might put on your menu.
Yes. And at the beginning, like Cantonese area, if we have the menu all traditional Chinese food, I think it would be really, really tough.
Okay.
So with General Tao chicken, get really a lot of people like our General Tao chicken, and that kind of helped a lot.
Let me try this. Try to say this in Chinese.
You read Chinese, right?
鱼香茄子.
Yeah.
I like how you have the pronunciations there, so I have less chance of messing up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I always liked to real Chinese.
Okay.
That's why I have pinyin, Chinese pinyin there.
Okay.
To it's my own little fantasy to have everything real.
Real. Yeah. Well, the next one I'm going to go for is the 酸辣土豆丝.
Okay.
So that's the spicy potato strips. Can you ask them to have less spicy, or is this pre-made?
Oh, no, it's you can do that.
That's great. That's where I'm a little bit of a fake Chinese. I'm not very good with spicy.
No, in China, different regions, some people, they're very mild, like on the spiciness.
Do you think we should have one rice noodle, or like
we can try Yangzhou fried rice.
Yangzhou?
Yeah, do you know that one?
Yeah, of course.
Yangzhou fried rice. The noodle is I don't know.
Oh my god, you use spam.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah. It's always it's a luncheon, right? Luncheon. I had a problem finding the right word for that, the spam. I googled Wikipedia saying, it's called spam. In Chinese it's called 午餐肉, right?
Yeah, but the funny thing is, my family goes to Chinese restaurants, and if it's a place that we're familiar with, we try to ask them to substitute the meat for 午餐肉, to substitute with the spam, because we like the taste more.
They don't use that?
Usually they use real meat, so they have strips of pork or strips of chicken. So it's rare that a place just automatically put the spam in the fried rice.
Easier. Also, the spam is you can buy the brand called Holiday. It's here, produced here. It's
really?
North American, at least. It's very readily accessible.
Okay.
Yeah, available.
It's good to know. So if that completes our orders, that sounds good. If not, we
can eat more. It depends on how much. It's a lunch. We can eat more, right? I guess.
I also love noodles.
You want to try?
I'm really curious about your udon.
Udon is a good one.
But why did you put it there for is this something authentic too in Chinese?
Udon,
isn't it supposed to be like Shanghai noodle?
Yeah, it's a Shanghai noodle called Shanghai noodle. But udon is Japanese, I believe.
Yeah.
And in China, we had some udon noodle there, but it's not very, very common. But it's not totally North American. It's like in the between.
Well, I love Shanghai noodle. I always order the stir-fry Shanghai noodles.
This
I'm curious if this is similar.
Want a chicken, beef, or shrimp with the udon? Yeah, this one is not that, may not be very, very crazy kind of udon like Shanghai noodle, but close.
Oh, this is good tea.
That's all. That's a lot. We need to eat a lot this time. Soup, I think I can skip the soup. You have the soup, okay? I have.
Is this a warning? Should I skip the soup?
No, it's not. I have coffee, and after that I drink some tea. I always have coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Right back. When I run upstairs, downstairs, I have short of breath. Looks like I have COVID.
Oh God, that's dramatic. It's normal. I think nobody's having as much exercise as they used to.
Yeah, you have some people lose the taste of flavor, something, right? Short of breath, all the typical. Let me see, still running. Yeah. So, like you mentioned, you were born in Hong Kong.
I was.
And moved here.
Totally made the decision at 1 year old. Yes.
So it's against your will?
I have no idea what my will was. I think that I enjoy growing up here. I enjoy the pace. Like you said, I think when I was younger, the work-life balance, I think life was a lot more important when you're a kid, and you enjoy the different activities that are available here, and I guess there is less pressure here at school than there is in Asia.
But like, yeah, when you're 1 year old, like you move here with your parents, so do you still think the Chinese tradition still have a lot of the tradition on yourself?
Oh, that's a good question. I think
Definitely,
that
you speak Cantonese very well, right?
I speak Cantonese at home with my parents, but now it's more like a Chinglish because everybody's used to using the words that are most convenient. So I would say we are pretty well balanced because we kept some Chinese TV networks, so we are still kind of like in touch with the pop culture over there. By watching, I used to watch so many Chinese soap opera series. I love the traditional Jin Yong.
Yeah.
I love the Heavenly Sword. I've watched all of them at least 10 times.
That's from TVB, right?
Yes.
Is that TVB?
Yes. And now it's been remade so many times.
We call 神雕英雄传, 1983, the year. That's the classic. I watched 5 times, I believe, the whole
I
thing.
watched at least 10 times. I can like tell you the lines almost.
Yeah. Do you mind to tell us which year you were born, or like it's a secret?
I was born in 1988. I'm a dragon.
Dragon. My girl is dragon too.
Oh, yeah. We're pretty. We're not easy people to deal with.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I grew up with those fictional series, learning to speak Chinese, being in touch with a lot of the.
That's amazing. If you know Jin Yong, all those classics like the TV, that must like the Mandarin the level must be like a native, right?
That's not even the most amazing part because I got so into watching the TV series, I actually started to teach myself how to read his books. And his books are very, very difficult.
It's in traditional Chinese?
Traditional Chinese.
And from the top down and
top down,
right, left
to right. Pages are, you flip them from the left side of the book to right to left.
Yeah, because the right line here, here. Yeah, from right to left when you read it.
And I can tell you the first time I picked up one of those books, it took me one scene, like it was because he is so descriptive in his writing. It's like the Shakespeare, the Chinese Shakespeare. And the one scene where the guy lifted up his sword, the light of the moon shine on his sword, the other guy, the frozen with his look. There's so much descriptions. It took me a day to just run through the first page of the story. And in my head, I watched a TV series, so I know how much more of the story there is. So I realized it's going to take a while to get used to.
Actually, I always think Jin Yong, the author, really deserves the Nobel Literary Prize because he's almost the best one.
Absolute classics.
Especially like even it's like KongFu thing, right? But it tells the story, the real he has a lot of like the ideas in the books. It's the real literature.
Brilliant.
It's classic. Tells the humanity, whatever all the classics.
There's love, there's hate, there's revenge. There's
it's amazing.
Different motivations, and the characters also evolve. They become like they grow with the story.
I guess did they translate that in English?
I think there is now.
Yeah, they should. He passed away 1 year ago, 2 years ago, right?
Okay, I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, he deserved the Nobel, I think. Yeah, if we need to have a vote.
It's incredible.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you like the TV shows of these classics, do you follow the Stephen Chou?
Yeah, I've watched most of his movies.
Stephen Chou. Yeah.
Stephen Chou, yeah.
Stephen or Stephen?
I think it's Stephen.
Yes. So he was, I guess, my generation. That time I was in the university around end of the 1990s or the 20s. Around that time is the favorite in the campus, university campus. So a lot of lines from his movie and very, very popular. So I'm 42, like my generation 42. If some people are between 37, 42, 45. So this whole generation, like really big fan of Steve Chou, the Zhou Xingchi. It's crazy.
Well, his movies made it international, right? Kung Fu Hustle is now such a classic. It was hilarious. I think I've rewatched that one also 5 times. I don't know, like the good stuff, they keep, it's this, the basic of the storylines they can remake into different characters.
And also, like the time, like especially the Hong Kong, like I'm from Jiangsu province. I literally know nothing about Cantonese, you know, but like when you can speak Cantonese, understand Cantonese, all those kind of classics, the sitcoms or the TV series, like they are in Cantonese, and it's really amazing. And even the songs in Cantonese from Hong Kong, it's amazing. We have, I guess, when I was in high school, the people, they did not speak Cantonese, but they can sing Cantonese.
Okay.
And it's amazing. So those people we admire. So they catch eyes. Those people, they can sing Cantonese songs in Cantonese.
I did the opposite with Mandarin. The reason I can somewhat speak Mandarin is because of karaoke in like Mandarin songs, and I think the most influential series in my learning Mandarin is Meteor Garden.
Meteor
Garden.
They're from Taiwan.
Yes. Yeah. So that's back in my high school days, and by reading subtitles, you really learn to practice your, I guess, your reading and your pronunciation skills.
I think you are still young. You are 30, early 30, like you are very young, because that time, before, like if my generation, the girls, our time, they were reading the Chongyao, Taiwan from Chongyao, this Mandarin as well.
Okay.
It's like a very girly, like they have like the family, like marriage between, and they're even the arrival of Jingyong at the same time.
Oh.
Chongyao and Jingyong, they are in the same level.
Okay.
It's a lady, and Chongyao, you never heard of her?
No, I know Gulong.
No, Gulong is another.
I'm into the fighting.
You're on the boys' club.
Yeah, I'm in the boys' club. I love stories.
I try to be. I reach out to the girls' side as well. It's the Chongyao is huge.
Okay, I'll ask my mom. She probably knows. She's a big collector of books.
And Chongyao covers multi generations. Your mom generation, our generation, even the generation, because like crazy, like all the superstars from Taiwan, they were playing some roles in the movies and the TV series. It's crazy.
I drink a lot of tea, by the way.
That's a good thing.
Please don't be alarmed.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like that time, because we grew up like watching movies and TV from Hong Kong. Hong Kong was one time is the Hollywood.
The golden era.
It's amazing. Andy Lau and Tony Leung.
That's already fairly new, yeah.
Yeah, and the Shang-Chi, right? The Tony Leung, Liang Chaowei. It was so that's all the time. Like even in the university, we have one guy classmate. He's from Guangdong province, so he speaks perfect Mandarin and Cantonese. And that guy a lot of people like him because he can speak Cantonese and all the big stars and the movie songs like in a regional language. But for the Mandarin speaking people, like there, you have to have the what is that dubbed version, right?
Subtitles. Yeah.
No, dubbed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
so it's not even the original voice.
Not there's one guy very famous for like doing the dub work for Stephen Chou.
Okay.
His voice was so perfect. Nobody knew even. They thought was the real.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
It's so funny because all the you have to dub from the beginning, even the song, whatever the tone. It's amazing. The guy is famous as well who did the dub work. It's really amazing. So for us. We never watch the Cantonese version because if you look at the subtitle, it's different. You have to, and the dub version will be really good.
I've always enjoyed subtitles more than dubbed versions, even with like, I'm also a big fan of like cartoons, anime. So Japanese animes, and I like the original version with the subtitles. I feel like it's more, I like you and your menu, more authentic. And I've learned to I've also liked to read. So when you like to read, subtitles just become natural.
Yeah, that's amazing. You look like, from what you told me, like you look like you live in mainland or somewhere in Hong Kong as well. Like you have access to all this kind of.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty cool. I thought the people growing up would be like really like Montreal kind of stuff, French, English, their stuff. That's amazing.
No, I'm a cultural hybrid, and I think not a lot of people from my generation, even like my friends, either they fall more on the Chinese Hong Kong culture side, or they're more Canadian. We call them juksing. Do you know the term?
No.
Juksings are the basically CBCs.
Oh yeah, CBC.
Yeah. So in Cantonese, we have a term for those who look like they should be Chinese, but they don't really know the culture. They're not familiar with the language. So there's a spectrum of Chinese kids growing up here, and how close they are to each of the cultures.
So that could be the decision, like on your side. Also, maybe the parents they like you to expose more like traditional Chinese, or like more like Quebec, Montreal.
Yeah, it's a mix of parents and also friends you make at school.
Yeah, and also as I said, my daughter, she's 8, almost 9 now. I really. Oh yeah, that's
that looks amazing.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine. Do we need to do this?
I think they just put it in one box.
Yeah. Do you want to take a picture of this, or?
Sure. You don't have to ask me twice. I'm not very shy. And this is as real as it gets.
Yeah. So this udon noodle, and then there's...
Beautiful. That's a lot more potatoes than I thought.
We got 3... Actually, this huge box have 3 dishes with a lid.
Well, you have to remember, one side is actually a lid. It's not supposed to be holding food.
I guess save me for washing 3 dishes.
There we go.
3 dishes.
Ecological from the start.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So you were telling me about your daughter who's 9 years old.
Yeah, almost 9.
8 years old,
8 years. Because always fascinating, because I grew up in a village, and then I have my thinking process.
Okay, go ahead.
I think my daughter, she was born here, probably would be very interesting to see like how she thinks about things.
Oh, that looks so great. Thank you.
Yes, Yangzhou fried rice, and then that's all, right? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, 3 cup chicken, and this one is super hot. Be careful. And then Yangzhou fried rice. You can take a picture of this one in the box. Beautiful box.
Of this one.
Really nice box.
That's a great presentation.
So I'm really thinking about what my daughter, when she grows up, like she's like more like French, English, and Chinese. It's kind of, right now it's very, very, the way she talks right now, it's very, very Canadian.
Okay.
And sometimes we argue, she reasons with me, you know, a lot of times she was right.
Okay.
It's not traditional, like some traditional Chinese family, like the authority of the parents, it's a little bit too heavy.
Okay.
But in us, the relationship between myself and my daughter is very, very equal. Sometimes maybe she has the upper hand, maybe.
Okay.
It's very, very independent, and but I'm really, sometimes I'm wondering like how much this Chinese tradition will be like reflected on her, you know. It's a very, very curious.
Well, you don't want to push the culture on her, like you said before. You mentioned that you wanted to have it natural. Yeah. Well, then that would have to come from her being interested, and I don't know if you're actively...
But how did you, like, so much involved in this Chinese classics, like even the books, the reading, like somebody give you the first push, or like you?
It's not even a push. The TV's playing, something cool's going on, and then you ask like, "Who's that guy? Like, why is he like chopping up that guy?" And then this is a long history, like back like three seasons ago. This guy actually was the father of like blah 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 blah. So you get kids are curious by nature. Kids love to learn by nature, and it's
but
just
that age but right now like we try to avoid her like my in-laws are watching the TV shows in Chinese like cutting people's head, you know, is that too violent for the kids?
I feel like I turned out okay, but that's just my opinion. So.
Yeah, interesting. So you just saw that on TV and then you kind of liked it?
Well, it's a mix of a lot of things. Music is playing at home, and it's Chinese music, and from as far as I can remember, we were listening to the classic from like Sam Hui and
Do you know the Beyond? You like Beyond? The
yeah,
Beyond?
I
That's
can
the
sing
best.
most of those songs.
That's the
Yeah.
one of the best song.
And there's Qingren.
Yeah, it's
Qingren
amazing.
is so good. It's on my Spotify list right now. I can play it right this
It's
instant.
still the Beyond. I think for the Chinese language, it's still the best. I think the Beyond band is still the Huang Jiaju, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, best is a matter of
very
opinion, right?
exactly.
It's
For me, it's when I listen to that song,
it feels really good,
yeah,
eh?
because the Mandarin Cantonese somehow it's very good at the tones for the music for
Oh,
songs.
that's so funny. I
Yeah.
feel the opposite. I feel like Mandarin flows better than
No,
Cantonese.
Mandarin is a little bit flat. Like we have 4 tones. Cantonese have 9 tones, right?
Yeah, but that makes it more not as harmonious, right? Like I feel like
For the song, you don't want to be harmonious. You want to have the rhythm very strong, like the drum sets, the beats,
Okay.
very strong. Like it's like a lot of Chinese songs. They sound like country. It's like telling stories,
okay.
but it's not like crazy. For me, some songs you cannot make out of the lyrics, but it's the flow of like dramatic,
Okay.
the tones, the change of the tones. That's it's like a rock.
Okay.
But in Chinese, very hard. The Mandarin very hard to have a rock.
Okay.
It's very kind of flat.
It's I call it smooth.
Yeah,
So-
smooth. Yeah, when it's smooth, it's more country.
Okay.
But it's like you have different genres. The country is perfect, but besides country, you need to have like blue country, but you have to have the kind of rock and roll thing.
Okay.
Like Cantonese is really good at that. That's why the band they have to have that kind of crazy, you know, the change of the tones, whatever the.
Okay.
Is the Cantonese. Another reason is we don't know Cantonese. That makes it even better.
I don't know what they're saying, but what they're saying sounds inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. When you don't pay attention to the lyrics, probably the music itself will stand out a little bit more.
Okay.
That's my take. That's my reasoning with every time I listen to Cantonese songs, I feel it's more exciting.
Okay.
It's like especially from the time 1980s, 1990s. It's amazing. The time was golden age. Both on the music and on the movies and the telecom series,
Okay.
the TV shows. All the 1990s, right? It's the golden age.
Well, the perfect example of what you're saying, I think it's Sally Ye. Do you know Sally Ye? So
French?
she is actually, I think she's from Canada, and she is a juxing, so she's on the other side of the spectrum. She doesn't really speak, or I think she spoke but didn't read in Chinese, but she has a great voice, and she wants to be a singer. So they actually wrote down all the songs in pinyin, and then she doesn't know what she's singing, but she's very good at singing them.
Okay.
So there's a lot of songs, back in the days where she's presenting it magnificently, but it turns out she doesn't actually understand what she said.
Like you can sing an Italian opera.
That's it.
Yeah, some like in the university, like we have in our class. I studied the computer science.
Okay.
Our class has 28 students, and 6 of them girls, and 22 guys, boys.
Okay.
And one of the girls, like the girls, I like in the university, they always work hard, they study hard and strive, and they all stand out in the top 10 of the class on the studies, and all 6 of them in the top 10.
Okay.
I was the bottom. So one of the girls, she's pretty, she's nice. And when I was 1998, that we were the sophomore year, and that time was big time for the Titanic. the My Heart Will Live On, the Celine Dion song.
Yep.
And that woman, the classmate, she could sing that in English. That just blew our mind.
Okay.
And I think she must feel pretty good about herself.
Okay.
And amazing. And we just watched the whole movie, Titanic. And then the song was playing a movie, and she was singing that song in English original, and then was very close to the original.
Okay.
And people show off their skills, and my English is even was not good, and she was singing the classic song in English. That's
so
really
somehow music transcends language.
Yeah, amazing. It turned out she was really good at English as well. So,
well, look at that. Chicken or the egg first?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's begin.
Well, why don't you tell me what the commentaries are with these foods?
3-cup chicken is always nice. It's like from Taiwan. Our food is all over everywhere.
Okay.
And this one is not spicy with the bones. It's really nice. Heavy flavor with the soy sauce.
Okay.
And the cooking wine. What is the other one? The vinegar.
Okay.
The kind of 3 cups, right? There's the udon. I don't know what's the difference between Shanghai udon or the udon noodle.
It's less
just
dark, this one. This one's very light.
Oh. The udon is supposed to be a little bit translucent, right? The udon itself a little bit chewy, or?
I would say it's thinner than this noodle, and it's usually darker.
Really?
And I think they mix it, the Shanghai noodle, they mix it with shrimp and the meat and
all these
more
big
veggies.
places are Shanghai, even the Bai Cai, the Shanghai Qing, right? It's a Shanghai green. These people, look for me, it's like a fight for a title.
Okay.
Like have udon is Japanese, and then like Shanghai. Why not Nanjing noodle? It's people.
There's probably Nanjing noodle places. If you Google it up, like Nanjing noodle, like 5 places pop up on the street.
I think Shanghai just took the title. Like this kind of thick noodle, we name it Shanghai noodle. No other cities.
Okay.
And we have black pepper on this. You see,
okay.
This is very popular. This one, Shanghai udon noodle.
Okay.
And this one, this little guy.
I love potato.
Yeah. Potato julienne, and this kind of potato is amazing. Like in Chinese cuisine, we use potato for different things.
I really love that you don't have a lot of garlic on it. I'm not very big on garlic, and
some
places mix a lot of garlic.
We still put a good amount of garlic. Yeah, to be honest, I don't like garlic. I don't hate garlic. Whatever it is in front of me, I eat all of them.
Wow, okay.
Not a strong opinion on garlic for myself. And this one is sweet. What is the name of yuxiangqiede? How to say that in English? Sweet and sour
that a fish
eggplant.
Sauce?
No.
Nothing to do with fish?
No. Oh no. Yuxiangqiede means in the Sichuan cooking is like they use the ingredients to cook fish.
Okay.
It's the yuxiang. It's an invention.
Okay.
From it's a lady. It's a wife. It's a real person, real story.
Okay.
And she cooked with. They have a big meal, and then when the guests left, there's some leftover, and she cooked with the sauce. She just put like something here, there, different ingredients, make the leftover looks like a really kind of
a new dish.
New kind of taste. Her husband came back saying like the dish. What is this like? What kind of dish? She said probably like close to cooking the fish. That's called the aroma of fish.
Okay.
Because when you cook fish, you always have coriander. You have this kind of thing there. So it's very unique when you cook fish. So that's called yuxiang, fish aroma.
I'm learning something new.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Okay. It's like looking like you are cooking fish, but you are cooking eggplant. Also, 鱼香肉丝, pork strips, right? It's the same thing. They cook the pork strips with the same kind of flavor like cooking fish. So we have 鱼香茄子 and 鱼香肉丝. So we have 2 on the menu.
Okay. And then finally the classic Yangzhou.
Yangzhou fried rice. It's I don't know why it's Yangzhou fried rice. That's the thing. They always take the name.
So Shanghai has one, Yangzhou has one.
Yangzhou is like we make the easy one because the classic Yangzhou fried rice is they look like golden. You have the egg, they wrap in each grain. It's amazing, but it's super expensive, I guess.
They also have like the Fujian.
Oh, the 火腿, right?
I don't know. There's another fried rice at the Fujian.
Yeah, Fujian.
Chao fan. Fujian Chao fan.
Yeah.
It's another type.
Yeah, but this one they suppose use. We have the spam, the luncheon, right? But
I'm so excited to try that.
They suppose, I guess, the real Yangzhou fry, they use the 火腿, 金华火腿.
Yes.
Yeah, they use that 火腿 instead of the.
I guess we don't have the
exactly.
It's like the prosciutto, the Asian prosciutto.
Exactly. Otherwise, the price would be very different. So, and also as I said, each grain, the rice grain, it's supposed to be wrapped with the egg.
Okay.
So it's kind of very, very. It's like golden, like you are eating golden grains.
Yep. Well, you know Chinese, we like titles.
It's but we take the easy way. But it's amazing, to be honest. It's like fried rice. It turned out everybody loves fried rice. That fried rice has a special place in my heart.
Okay.
Because I grew up in in the village. Like,
should we get a bowl for the rice? You might have some difficulty eating on camera on a plate. The rice.
Let me go grab.
I'll distribute the food while you go. Thank you.
You know, the fried rice is supposed to be my favorite.
It's your favorite, okay?
You know why?
Why?
Because I grew up really, really poor in the village.
Okay.
So at that time, when I was several years old, so we had nothing, even no much oil,
okay,
not much salt, and so every day we were eating the mantou made of the flour, right?
Okay.
So the mantou, also the rice. We grew a lot of rice.
Okay.
So you have the wet and the rice. So that's the only thing you can eat as much as you want as a kid, like a steamed rice, but nothing else. No meal at all. Only the steamed rice.
Unlimited rice.
Yeah, unlimited rice. Also the bread. Okay. Unlimited bread, or the round one we call mantou, right?
Okay.
And the mantou, the good thing about mantou is when it's steamed.
Sugar?
No, when it's steamed fresh, it's really tasty.
It is.
But for my parents, my mom, she was so busy. She was so tired of other things.
Yeah.
So one time, he has to have the whole big batch.
Okay.
So she will make like a lot of them for the whole family for 7 days, for a week.
Whoa.
So that will be a big one. Every mantou is huge.
Okay.
So for the first meal is fresh, it's nice. But the second meal is like crazy bad.
Okay.
Because you have to re-steam them.
Yeah.
Re-steam them, and then it's really bad.
It's not the same.
Yeah, not the same. And we use the xifan, the congee, right? The thin congee. Like
in Cantonese, it's zhou.
Zhou, yeah. And then we eat that with the mantou, with the bread.
Then you can dip it. And
it's really bad because we have no dish. We have no meal to go with it. So it's kind of, as a boy, young boy, we hated that stuff. So the morning will be the zhou and the mantou. Mm. The lunch will be rice. The problem will be the evening.
Okay.
The dinner, the supper. The supper most time is either the mantou with the zhou as well, or the rice. So for me, I always refuse the steamed rice, the bai fan. Okay. It's okay. I'm okay with that. But I hate the bread, especially the leftover bread. So I hate it. I refuse to eat a lot of them. So I have two older brothers. So I was the youngest. So I always have the special treatment. Of course. Yeah. So my mom always for the lunch, the steamed rice, always she will leave extra aside, and for the supper and the next morning, she always have the fried rice for me, because otherwise I'm gonna refuse. So I was really a
stubborn child.
Yeah. So the fried rice for us, it's easy. We just have a spring onion, little bit spring onion, a little bit oil. That's all. But for me, I can take that.
Okay.
So I always have my two older brothers. They were not too lucky, I guess. So they were eating that.
So now fried rice is a luxury with all the ingredients that's available.
Before it's only rice and a little bit oil, and then some salt, and then spring onion. But the spring onion tastes different. Spring onion in countryside, we grow our own spring onion, and then it's amazing.
Okay.
And that flavor. But even today, I eat the same one. Probably not that good. But when you were born, when you were probably very special memory. So I was really treated different, preferably.
Okay, well, the baby of the family gets to be
the youngest one
gets to have preferential treatment.
It's really amazing. So I have 3 meals every day, all rice. So I'm a big eater of rice.
Okay.
3 meals. I hate the bread. I hate bread. Especially they have the mantou, right? The round one. They have the flat one, the round flat one. It's called bing, right?
Okay.
Bing. That one is the same thing. When it's freshly cooked, it's amazing. Especially the 2 sides. They are crust. 2 sides. I eat only that one. The middle leave to my mom.
Okay.
I left to my mom. So the parents, they always the stuff
leftovers.
They don't. The kids don't want.
Okay.
So I was eating the 2 sides, the crust, and then not much. So, but that time we did not have meal. So the only time you can eat meal is the Chinese New Year and the wedding or the funeral. So we really want people die. We really want people get married.
That's a very dramatic reason to eat.
Seriously, when they die, they have a big meal, banquet with the different families, relatives, or several big tables. It depends on your family, the connections. If you have big connection, you have 10 tables.
So maybe that's actually why people get married so young. They're like, I need to have good food now. Hey, you want to get married? We'll have a really good meal tonight.
Yeah, exactly. The kids will have a free run. So when you have the 10 tables, for example, you set up in the yard in this house, and then you have, when they prepare this food, it's very difficult to keep close eyes on each of them. So they lay the plates on the table, on those tables beforehand, right?
Okay.
Before the guests get seated. So as a kid, you can sneak around to grab some of them. And because we have so many kids from so different families, so nobody got to be picked up saying you cannot narrow down, this kid did that thing. So
yeah, my dad does that with the wine at weddings. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, Dad.
That's the benefit of too many kids from different families. So who did the crime? Nobody could figure out.
Okay.
We got away with that. Okay, let's continue. I'll start, actually.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
I stole the spoon, by the way. I didn't have the heart to make you get up and get another.
Actually, that's the thing. For the rice and then fried rice, we should have spoon instead of fork.
Good, this is not spicy.
The first time I had hot sour soup is in Montreal. Maybe in Cantonese, in the southern part of China, they had hot sour soup, but in our place, we did not have.
Okay.
We don't have hot sour soup. So I found out that stuff in Montreal, Chinatown.
Of course. Wow, these rice are really separate. Each grain is separate.
Yeah. It turned out it's this corn and then the carrots, and what is that other one? Is long green beans? No, green beans, I guess. Long green beans.
Okay.
And they're in the package already. We call 3 colors.
Okay.
It looks like everybody does the same way.
Yeah.
So the 3 colors, the orange, yellow, and the green. It's pre-packaged, so we just buy them.
No, the Yangzhou fried rice is very pretty to look at. Normally, some places also have char siu.
Oh, I guess that's to replace the ham.
Exactly. I'm glad you replaced the char siu with spam.
With spam. You drink a lot of tea. I need to. It's empty.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's okay. You got some. You can.
No, I got some hot water. Do you want to drink some beer, wine, or sake?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, we did have one guest. We were drinking sake, when we were drinking beer. Qingdao beer.
Nice. No, there's like two types of Chinese people with alcohol. The type that can drink you under the table and they won't even look any different.
Okay.
And then there's the other ones who drinks like a cup and that's
So
it. They're gone.
So you don't
I'm
drink
unfortunately part of the second group.
and to practice, I guess.
It doesn't work. I've tried over the years at different different ages to drink maybe a beer, half a beer, and my body can't digest it. Like they say that some people are missing the enzyme to actually properly digest alcohol, so it's just toxic to their bodies. And I remember back a couple of years ago, I went to a barbecue at my friend's house. It's been a long time since I drank any alcohol, so I was like, you know what? I think I'm like big enough now. Maybe like I can do better.
Yeah.
I had half a beer and I passed out on their grass for like a whole hour. I was just sleeping because I couldn't move. Yes, half a beer. Very cheap date.
Yeah, but when I was like, as I said, when I was young, so we eat steamed rice. Sometimes for the lunch we have some soup, basic soup. The soup have more flavor. So my technique is have a bowl. It's a big bowl. Like we always use a big bowl for rice, and we put some soup inside together, mix them. But then we'll get the grains separated, right? But eat fast. My dad was always telling me like it's not good for your digestion, right? Because the whole grain you don't chew. That time I told her the story, the theory. I want to train my stomach. The whole time, because they say always like good for stomach, you chew more and then less stress, less work for the stomach, right, to digest. So I always mix the soup and the rice, but now I don't do that because the soup is not a big thing. But before, soup was a big thing. For the lunch, we have no meal, just soup will help you go to eat with the people will eat some rice and then drink some soup, and then eat some rice, drink some soup, and for me just mix together. Okay. Has more flavor for the rice.
Okay.
But then I told the theory, just I have to train
hard. To be stronger.
Yeah, train harder. Yeah. I know it's may not be a good argument. No.
Hey, kids come up with the best arguments.
This is the alcohol. I have to drink a lot. I got the drinking Chinese liquor. I guess in my whole life, I passed out at least 6-7 times. Totally passed out.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a big heavy drinker.
Okay.
Even like I said before, when I was 5, 6, I got drunk once. 5 or 6 years old. Another time when I was in high school, probably my cousin from my mother's older brother. It's a cousin. That's very in Chinese tradition. Like that's biao, right? The relationship is biao qing, right? Okay. It's my biaojie, my old sister, cousin. She got married. As I said, the wedding was big. A lot of relatives go, a lot of tables, like big celebration. We're drinking a lot. So there's from my uncle, like whole relatives in the same family with the same family name in the village, right? They were village as well. So I was sitting in a table with some guys.
Okay.
Those guys maybe when I was 18 or 16.
Okay.
But other guys they are 40s or in their 40s. So they're really good at like talking on the table.
Okay.
Drinking table. So they're talking to drink more.
Okay.
It's like that's kind of classic. How to say 酒桌文化. You know, they have to talk you into drink. Like we have small like that thing like sake cups. You have to drink like if I respect you, you are my senior. I drink. I need to one way to saying I drink 2 cups with you and return sometime after drinking with other people. This same guy senior gonna come back. I drink with you 4, and you have to drink 4 with that guy, and then after next time maybe upgrade to 8. Like when the people in their 40s, they know better, or they have different people in the same from their village because I was visiting their village.
Okay.
So end of that day, I was probably
very drunk
too much, and it was snowing outside. So I went to the bathroom. It's outside, the pit bathroom. I went outside. When I came back, I fell. So on the one side, there's a lot of snow. So my aunt was asking me, like, "Are you drunk?" When I passing the yard.
Okay.
So she said, "Are you drunk?" I said, No. I still know the directions."
Okay.
In Chinese, always say if you are drunk, you are clear mind.
Okay.
They always say, "Do you know the directions?" Right?
Okay.
That 东西南北,
Yeah.
right? So I told her I know I'm not drunk. I know this is the east, this is south, and this is west and north. And my aunt said, "Oh, yeah, you said it right. You were fine." And then that's the last memory I had for that day. I passed out right away. I fall on the ground on the snow. So when I woke up, was my cousin, the 表哥, 大表哥, in their bed.
Okay.
3 o'clock in the morning, 12:03, and my head was sweating.
Oh my god.
And and then my cousin, that old brother.
Yeah.
He told me like, "Oh, you are so funny. You cry a lot when you pass out." Really?
I think they didn't have cell phones back then to film you.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
I know.
I was really caring, and he brought me hot water, help you. When you wake back from the drunk, and then the hot water or something will help. So I would drink a lot of hot water, and he was telling me, "You will cry like crazy all the time, crying." And because your big sister was marrying or something, I don't know. I didn't remember nothing. For like that was 8 p.m. probably 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning. Like that 7 hours, I did not have any memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really loved your big sister more than you think.
I don't know. I don't know. Still don't know.
Still don't know.
And I was crying. Real crying and tears, everything.
Yep.
It was so funny.
That's a good celebration.
Yeah, and nobody was. They never mocked me. They just said,
"It's normal." Yeah.
But that time was really bad, and it's 10 years ago or 12 years ago. Before I had a baby, I went back to China. It's the classmates in the school is a big thing.
Okay.
We go to my county, the senior high school. We all meet, like whoever they went to big city to work because they graduated, they stay in big city. Whoever left in the countryside, we have to meet because I told them I'm back. It's been a lot of years in Shenzhen or in like Canada. So it's a big thing. So whoever in the countryside, maybe 4, 7, and some of them, we always come together to meet. And then a few people from neighboring city, they know, if they like me, they want to chat with me, they will travel back. And I remember we had like one big dinner. I guess we have 12 to 15 students, classmates, and one of the teacher too. The teacher came too as well. Yeah, one of the teachers. And he was very, still after graduation for 10 years, they still close with the people, the students. So on that one, and we were drinking a lot, and then the Chinese liquor, because in our county we have one Stiller, the famous one, 洋河大曲, 洋河 brand is from our local.
Okay.
So one guy came at 2 bottles. He was a doctor. So sometimes the original, some kind of crazy. They all like the original distill.
The Maltai?
No, the name, the same factory, but they somehow they have kind of special process to keep. So this is called original. So it's kind of top quality of the same brand from the brand. So we had 2 big bottles of that, and then I remember my last memory was 8 or 9 o'clock of that night, and I woke up in a hospital bed.
Oh, geez, what happened to you?
It turned out I passed out completely, and then remember the guy having that. He was a doctor in the hospital actually we have 2 beds, hospital beds, and he was sleeping another bed. It's really classmates is really amazing. So they like family. So he was accompanying me the whole time, the whole night. Like the whole, and he told me like we woke up. He told me I totally passed out, threw up, vomiting. So I had 4 bottles of IV the night. 4 bottles. They thought I would have died. And it's funny, it's in the middle of the night, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and he told me the story. And he because his office is in the hospital, he brought me toothbrush and a toothpaste.
Wow.
Everything, yeah, good service. And showed me around, okay, this is the bathroom. And then I come back, I slept till 6 or 7 o'clock. And then he had a car that time. So he drove me home to my village. It's amazing. But he thought they were scared. Maybe the way I vomited or something, thought I was gonna die or something.
Wow, when you drink, you really drink.
Yeah, that's Chinese liquor. It's killer. It's crazy because especially when you have like over your limit already, and you're gonna drink more because it tastes nothing. It's like the liquor, the Chinese liquor is burning your throat. At the beginning, you try it, you don't like it. But once you go, you kind of get numb. So it's kind of you just drink more and more, and people, your classmates, friends, just let's drink more and more together. So that's crazy. I get 4 bottles, the big bottle of the IV, 4. But I know I was strong. The life was strong, so I did not worry.
Training your stomach was right. You trained your organs to be strong.
Yeah, that was about 2009. I went the second to the last trip.
Do you go back very often?
Not so. The last trip to my village is 3 years ago, right before pandemic, with my daughter.
That's still very recent.
Yeah.
How did she like the trip?
Our dialect or accent, she could not understand the village. The way we like Cantonese. It's totally different from Mandarin. So
do you see if she's curious to know what's being said?
Not that much, I guess. I had a lot of my 2 older brothers. They have totally 6 kids. So one has 4. Has 4. The second older brother has 2. So he has a lot of. She has a lot of little friends to play with her, and also.
Can they communicate?
Yeah. Just slowly, and then it's fun. It's kids. They just play. They don't need to talk.
So, what's her conclusion about seeing your homeland? Was that her first time?
Yeah, first time.
Okay.
It's we have 3 wheels running on the battery. Very basic, primitive. But 3 is to get people from point A to point B. My father was riding that thing. Several times I was putting my daughter on the 3 wheels. She was really fascinated. She said, "Oh, 3 wheels." And it goes very slowly, maybe maximum 30 kilometers per hour, totally running on battery. And when you come back home, you charge. And it's
better than the Tesla.
Yeah, better than Tesla. 3 wheels and open everywhere.
I know.
And 3 wheels are stable, and we have scooters, electric scooters. Because right now everything electric, they have the battery, but even it's very, very. The quality is not there, but you get to a lot of places. But scooters, I feel a little bit. I don't want to put my daughter. She was 6 on the scooter because it fell falls easily.
Okay.
But for the 3 wheels, it's kind of slow, but it's stable.
And do you think that after the trip, did she seem like she wants to go back? Is there something
Not
she
so.
want to learn? No,
She likes Montreal.
she likes Montreal.
Yeah. She likes Montreal because there are a lot of things not familiar.
Because I can tell you that going to Hong Kong, we did it every maybe 2 years, 3 years. It's just a very long flight. And back when we were kids, life in a foreign country just seems fun because it's a vacation. In your brain, you're always associating with there's no school, there's no homework, like you're just there for fun. So it just looks, I guess you romanticize the experience there. So I always thought that potentially after graduating from school, I would go and work in Hong Kong for a bit. And then I guess I got older, maybe a little bit wiser, and I realized that in a place where there's such a big population, there's so much competition for jobs, and I decided that for entry-level jobs, it's such a difficult market to get in. Everybody, so many people. If you don't want the job, there's like 100 people in line behind you. So unless you're like the top of the top and you're willing to work like 12-hour days, 14-hour days, if you can take abuse, because over there the culture is whoever is the superior gets to yell at the lower, and then you yell at the ones that are below you, and then you yell at the ones that are below you. It's normal. The stress, the anxiety, I think all that is normal, and somehow or other, maybe through like popular culture, watching TV shows, I kind of understood more of that. So I just made the decision, okay, so maybe I will go to Hong Kong eventually to try a career, but that would have been maybe after a couple of years. So I have the experience under my belt so that when I go back, I actually have something to show on my CV. And then I just fell into my job at Service Lab. I literally graduated within 6 months, got this job, and almost 10 years. I joined Service Lab in 2012. Wow. It's a dishwasher soap company, and I joined in 2012 of July. So next year, 2022, I would have been there for 10 years.
Do you got a medal?
I don't know. I'll ask my boss. I have lunch with him tomorrow. So it's pretty crazy because most people my generation, well, millennials. Are you familiar with the? Yeah. So millennials, we change jobs.
I know that.
So we try things. We don't like things. We are known for just really making demands of life to really fit what we want, I guess. And it's really rare. Like when you were asking me, is it normal that like in my generation you're like in touch with your Chinese culture as much as with your Canadian culture? No, and the same thing with the whole millennial trends. I don't seem to follow that. Like I fell into the job and I'm happy with it. And there's always a possibility, like even in Chinese saying, like the grass is greener over there. Yeah. The fish, if you don't go to another pond, you're not going to get fat. Yeah. So all these things are inherent to push you to make changes. Yeah. But even when I first started, I guess I realized that when you have a good thing, the other side might not be better. So if you're happy with where you are, the people you work with the clients, I love my clients. It just ended up, you enjoy your time, then time flies.
For the service lab today, you guys provide the soap chemicals only or the machine as well?
We do both.
Okay.
So we're a soap company and we do dishwasher rentals. Yeah. We take care of the service as long as you're one of the clients that's buying our soap. And what's great is that there's a solid team. It's a local family. Like it's a local company that's run almost by people who have been in there as long as I do, right? They've just been there for years and years and years. So you don't end up with a rep where, this week you call, it's this person. Next week it's like, no, that person doesn't work here anymore. It's the next person. Like you can't foster loyalty with that kind of changes. So us with a local small company, we're able to service our clients very well.
But do you have your own machine you rent to the customers?
Yes, we do.
The machine you have your own? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one we use right now, their own machine as well. They're a big company. They're American, I guess.
Yes.
Right? And when I get this restaurant, I replaced their old washing machine was bad, so I replaced the whole thing, so we rented from this company, and we even reinstalled the electric circuit,
to accommodate.
Yeah, to accommodate. Like they have 3 phases, whatever, how many amps or something. So we have an electrician to come here to install the whole new thing.
How often do you get serviced?
If we actually we call them if. I don't know because we got with them 3 years. We had one time we have issues, so they came right away. That's pretty fast. But I don't know the routine annually something because the pandemic they haven't showed up yet. Before that they did come once, I believe, before the pandemic, without we asking. But if we have last time we had a little issue is our own fault and the operation thing, and then they came pretty fast. 1 hour you just call their line and then assign a technician.
Well, it's
the rental every month plus the chemicals you have to purchase minimum every month or something. Like that. But during the pandemic, they exempt the minimum chemical thing.
So to you as a restaurant owner, what's the most important when you choose a supplier? Like even your meat supplier, seafood supplier, papers, packaging.
For us, I guess first we know we get stable with one supplier. They always have that kind of stuff. For example, right now, for the meat, we always go from one supplier they deliver. Today, actually, we order 1 day prior, and then they kind of have a truck to deliver the meat. And for the vegetables, I always go to the Centre Marché, that area, the Lacadie area. So they have 2 or 3. I always go there. So this, like green pepper, broccoli, and cucumber, always go with this one. So I know it's readily available. So for me, it's really easy. So it's kind of I need to see one supply always have that thing. The price, they fluctuate a lot, but it's the market price. I don't think we will have a lot of choices on the price. Even the same supplier, different week, the price is different, especially on the vegetable side. But I always go to the same place for certain vegetables.
So loyalty and consistency is important to you.
Yeah, loyalty may not be that big deal, but at least it's practically easy for me to save time. To save time because a lot of time, like we open at 11. If in the morning I spend maybe 1 hour and maybe maximum 2 hours to get everything done. Otherwise, we'll be late.
So tell me, with your honest feedback, out of everything we ate today, what's your thoughts?
And this one is pretty good. It's a little bit chewy. It's good. But this little bit, the bones in front of camera, eating bones eating meat with the bones not very very easy. You cannot be yourself too much.
Oh, coming from you, you're like really into the authentic experience.
This one is the udon noodle. Is when you chew it a little bit longer, it's even better.
And the rest, so this one with the bones is a little difficult, but the flavor is very good. With this one, you think the chewiness is just well cooked. We call it in Italian, I think they call it al dente.
Oh. You must have learned more than 3 languages, I guess.
No, I just eat out a lot. With my job, I think...
How about Italian? The Spanish? Spanish right now is super popular.
I know.
With the French, your mastery of French language, I think Spanish is even easier.
The problem is, like you said, there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, that's true though. You social with people, but after having the restaurant, especially during the pandemic, I have no social life. It's crazy because I have to stay in the restaurant 7 days a week.
How did you end up finding Mr. Pang?
Just like friends. He always work in the restaurant business in the kitchen, so we need people, and 2 months already, I believe. Yeah, restaurant business is not. I did not know that it's time consuming like this crazy.
It's one of the most time consuming, actually.
Yeah, and also my childhood experience, the living in a real village, had the hard labor really prepared me. I that helped me a lot because I can work. I prefer working for the hard labor. Prefer that than the office work because I need to. I prefer not to think when I work. So if things are easy, just lifting things and moving things around, I really like that kind of stuff. Even it's heavy, instead of like I had to calculate this, I need to plan this, plan that. The tax thing, every year I'm late on the filing a tax return every year because I need to find.
Oh my God, I sympathize.
Yeah, I have to find the receipts here. I need to find. Okay, I remember I had experienced this expense here, there. I have to collect all these crazy things.
Yep.
One time I was late for almost 2 years. But
I don't think we call that late anymore. I think you're just like avoiding it. It's like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that today.
Because every time I think about, like, I need to sit in front of a computer to start gathering those things to make sure I'm not missing out, leaving something, items or the expense or some crazy documents. It's crazy. I'll go back, cut vegetables like 20 hours, 24 hours, 10 hours. I feel pretty happy. But if you want me to get those kind of documentation, that crazy stuff.
That's why I said you're not late, you're in denial. You're just trying to avoid it.
Maybe that's the better term. It's crazy. So having a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, it could be my destiny because I was working really hard when I was a kid, so it's not bothering me.
What if your daughter wanted to go into the restaurant business? What would you say?
I would. Oh shit! It's a small flag. I don't think she would like that. It's unless people they enter business without knowing much, probably.
Yeah, but what if, let's say, in her teenage years, she decided to come part-time, and then she's like, oh, you know what? I like this environment. Teach me more about running the business. Would you encourage her?
That should be fine, I guess, because that's her choice. Every time I ask her, like, what do you want to be? For the past 3 or 4 years, it's always the same, zookeeper. Okay. Beginning was ambulance driver, and then she changed from ambulance driver to zookeeper.
Okay. She got fed up with people. Animals are more fun.
Yeah. Probably next year, I asked probably would be another career. But probably she will, when she's 12, she probably would love to help, like to sit in the front, to talk to the people.
For sure.
Yeah, probably it's fun.
So you have no preconceived notion of what you might want her to do. Like, it's all up to her. If she wants to do office, she can do office. If she wants to be like me and sell soap, she can sell soap.
Yeah.
She wants to run a restaurant, you'll teach her what you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No need to be a doctor, no need to be an engineer.
Nothing. So far from what I've seen, she will be a pretty happy person. She's happy every day. So for me, the skills and all the education may not be that important. The important is your personality.
Okay.
Because whatever, even you are kind of making a lot of money, you kind of have a good position in a big corporation. You make a lot of money, or you have a lot of people surrounding you, and you have a big influence. But if you don't know how to overcome, accept what is the imperfection or the relationship with other people, you always struggle with your mind. Doesn't matter what kind of life you live, you still need to make peace with the things you cannot get. That's always I grew up very, very bad condition. I had a lot of inferior feelings, so that hurt me a lot. But I always have a way to cope, to tell my story, Could be worse. That kind of help people a lot. A lot of times what you have is not what you wanted at all. But you have to live with it. So how to, you know, like the half glass full and empty thing. It's everybody, like, that's the mentality and also the personality, very important for me.
Okay.
But even my kid is growing, even she has, you know, not the personality I like, but that's a reality. You have to live with the reality. That's my whole thing. I have a lot of creative philosophies. So it's, you know, live with what you have and never regret. I regret a little bit, but only for a few seconds. You know, let's move on. And
so would you say it's like the Chinese saying, 记住长乐?
Yeah, 知足常乐, yeah.
Yeah, so when you know how to be satisfied, then you're always happy.
But I always improve. I always prepare myself, like learning English. Even today, I'm still learning. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like a lot of them, to improve my English. Because for me, it's always to better myself. The betterment is my key thing, because the background, the only way I went to see the different part of the world because I studied well.
Okay.
Otherwise, I was stuck with a factory job.
Okay.
So in the village, so that's for me, it's very important to learn, to improve the soft skills, not the real skills, the soft skills to.
It's the mentality.
Yeah, and I'm happy most of the time.
So when it comes to your daughter, you know how society right now, we're talking about, housing crisis, things are getting more expensive, salary versus standard of living, it's getting more expensive, and the environment, that's where the planet, global warming, there's a lot of pollution. So there's all these things that's in the future for this generation.
Yeah, it's uncertainty. All the things could go worse, right? Could turn worse. But that's the thing you cannot control. That's always my take is, the imperfection is the norm of the life. You have a lot of difficulties. You may get sick. You may lose your finger or get cuts here. You may be betrayed by your lover, your family, or good friends. That happens. The only way to help to stay happy is how to deal with that reality.
Okay.
One day you may find your boyfriend cheated on you. You may find your best friend betrayed you, and may your business partner betrayed on you.
Wow, that's a lot of betrayal.
Yeah, but something.
I think at that point there's something wrong with me.
No, it doesn't matter, because things happen. They happen for a reason. But the reality is, it happened.
Okay.
How to deal with it is you can control only yourself. That's my idea. You can only control how you see things. You cannot control how other people behave, or how they treat you, or how they interact with you.
But hold on there. I have to go back to the environment, because I'm here also with like Bopack and the reusable packaging. So
we try to protect the environment.
But that's it. Like, there is one side where you're like, well, the problem seems too big for one person to worry about it, and if you stress too much about it, like based on your philosophy, a lot of it is accepting things as they are. But on the other side of it, like you saw last week, there was march of the students who are on strike from school because they want to get their messages heard. So on the one side, there is saying that the problem is too big for any one person to handle. On the other side, there are things that are within our control that we can contribute to the change. Because like that story that I really like from, I don't even know which Chinese proverb, where there's a village and they say that there's a pot where they say, okay, we're going to have a party, but we don't have any money. So if everybody just goes home and pour a little bit of alcohol, then we have a big pot of alcohol for the party. And everybody's mentality was, oh, well, if I just pour in like, I don't know, 3/4 water and like a bit of alcohol, because so many people output the alcohol in, nobody would notice. So everybody thought like that. So they're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to use my alcohol. So more water, less alcohol, more water. And then when the party came, they taste it. It's almost all water. So every little bit, yes, it's a tiny thing. Like if you were the only person who put in the water, nobody would notice. But if everybody thought they were the only person to put in the water, then it's a disaster.
Yeah, I think I get your point. I think it's always good to contribute. To start with, everybody has to start action. That's totally fine. Like even today, a lot of things is not pretty, not is worrying.
Yeah.
You know, we can start doing things, but it doesn't have to be dramatic or big or. But still, like I'm totally for the environment. Actually, your bowl, the thing is amazing. Actually, even 2 years ago, before the pandemic, I had an idea. I tried to provide some glass containers.
Okay.
So for people for the leftover, they can bring home and return.
Okay.
So I will almost start implementing that.
Okay.
But it's more the problem is on the operation. Is I have to tell the waitress to do this, and they register. Like I was checking you can get Dollarama for $4, $5 for each one, and it depends on if you don't want to charge them deposit, the chance they may not return. So I was thinking about if we charge them deposit for $10, they will return, so the system will keep going. But that will add a lot of cost on the operation.
Okay.
So the waitress, they have to keep records of who returned, we have deposit for whom, and it will be a lot of time for us to be spent on those things. But that's an idea I was about to do, but I have to pass that to my wife. Pass my wife. She will think
she has to approve.
Yeah, exactly. That's a bad idea. It will mess up with the front operation, right?
Okay.
So, but that's always because when you have this the one-time use, even it's a lot of them right now is you can put them in microwave, right?
Yes.
Even they're good quality, but majority of them, 99% of them, they're gonna throw them.
Yes.
That would be a reality, right? Even it's like reusable, but a lot of time they have the delivery to their houses, and then after that they're gonna throw them because oily, already been used, dirty. They don't want to wash, and then they use next time.
Yeah.
So that's a big impact on the environment. But the solution, your solution may be a good solution.
So let me ask you. So Bo is a reusable takeout packaging as a service. We're actually a service company. So we're not really just selling you the containers. We want to have a whole system to encourage like you said, the problem is what if it just gets sent to the customer's home and they just never bring it back? So you create actually more garbage because everybody just accumulates it at home. At one point they'll throw them out maybe. So we're going to have the containers as an option in restaurants. So the restaurants already have all the boxes, and we are creating an app where people can use it like a library book system. So at the cash, like you don't say, oh, well, if we sell soft drink, it's going to add too much work to the front end because, like you just punch something in. Yeah. So with our app, the restaurants will be able to, the client says, oh, I have an account. I want to use my Bose. So you just put in their code 1234 and then you scan because each of the containers will have, I don't have it with me, there's a QR code on top. Does that one have one? Yeah, so there would be a QR code on top. So once you pack your food in, and then the customer says, oh, I'm Bo account number 1234. You put it in, you scan the code. This now goes into their account. And on your account, you will see, oh, I used to have 100, now there's 99. And you forget all about it. Like there's nothing more for you to do. So we get them to eat, they rinse, they find the place where we have a return box because there's some businesses that will have a return bin. So it's self-service where the client goes there, scan, drop it back in. We go to the box, we collect them, we bring it to the warehouse, we wash, and then we go check all the restaurants now. We look at the restaurant, hey, Aunt Di, they had 100, now there's 99, I need to give them back 1. Like we managed to return, so you don't have to worry about, oh no, they brought back a whole bunch of bows. I have to now try to like put it back in. Nothing for you to do. It's just you serve it, beep, it goes out. You forget about it. Next week I come back, hi, here's your bows, and then you get restocked. And the whole purpose is for you to also save money because in a reuse system, you get products that are 10 times the value of a normal takeout box. So your presentation gets better. And you save money because all I need to pay is for the service to wash and bring it back. It's not to remake a new box. This is an existing box. So in a circular economy, there's savings. And I think we can share that with the restaurants so that they save money. They have a good quality product. And they save the environment. Do you think Montreal's ready?
I'm an IT engineer, I always think about procedures because SOP or something. It's the way you say it, probably it's the cost of your operation actually. It's a lot of money to collect them and distribute them, and then watch it again, even it's watched. It's interesting, very interesting, to be honest.
You won't make money until you have a certain amount of volume.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
because when I drive here, it's a good cause.
For sure. That should be the trend. It's the best. Like the challenging part will be how to run it efficiently to bring down the cost. That's always everything. The cost is even the Tesla. I am the big fan of Elon Musk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's everything about the cost. The cost is you reduce cost not by reducing the quality. It's by improve your the workflow, like improve your process. So that's if you can figure out that more efficiently and keep the cost down, and it will be amazing. It will. We need to have some. The reason because I always like glass. If it's made of glass, it will be more. It lasts long. But it will break. That's maybe one of the reasons.
A, it will break.
Yeah.
B, for somebody who orders for a family, can you imagine how heavy that takeout is? Yeah. Like even with the plastic, sometimes it's a lot to carry. Yeah. With glass, that's for a family of 4. It's a lot of boxes.
For us, it's like the Chinese cuisine. You see, if some of like this. It's perfect for sandwiches, salad or something. But for the hot stuff and with oily, with the sauce, has to be very sealed and very tight sealed. And the portion is fine. You can have different size, right? And we typically will be a little bit one size smaller than this one. Because for us the operation we have to be because streamlined as well. So all our dishes, it's better to fit in one size. Because on the shelf, we prepare the food. If we have too many different sizes of containers, that would be a trouble as well.
For sure.
So we were gonna have standard size, the containers. But we have the poached fish in chili oil. That one you cannot use this kind of. That would be the wrong one. So it has the.
You would have the bowl with the cover, yeah.
So we have 2 kinds. But if we have 3 kinds or 4 kinds of containers, that would be a problem. That would create extra problem for our kitchen. So the 2 kinds would be okay, acceptable for us. So for this, so it would be. But how about if some customers, that would be a practical problem. Challenge would be we have our regular containers, right?
Yeah.
If only for some customer they want this bowl, this different set. So we have 2 kinds of that. We introduce 2 kinds. So that would be 4 kinds. And also on the order you have to mark. Okay, this one using this kind of container instead of that kind of container. So that will introduce, unless you have replaced everything with bowl. But if you replace everything with bowl, some customer they just don't want to be part of this. They not subscribe to your app. So that would be a challenge.
So that's why I say that I always have a very big thank you for the first 50 restaurants that said yes to testing this with me, because they know that they are going to be inconvenienced. It's easy for everybody to say, you know what, that's too much work for me. I'll let other people try the system and work out all the difficulties, get the market started so that customers know about this. Oh, it's water for now. Thank you. So it's very easy to say, you know what, I'll let, maybe they start, and then once a lot of customers use this, then I will join. It's very easy to say that. But the first 50 people who know that, I'm going to have my old containers and then the new bow containers, I'm going to have to be the ones to explain to the customers, those are the very brave people. Those are the very generous people.
Early adapters.
But it's not just because they want to be known as a first either. Like they are part of the process that are designing our logistics. They are part of the people who give us the information we need to make it a process that everybody will want. So they're accepting the fact that being the first is going to be a lot of trouble. they're accepting that being the first, there's going to be a lot of inconvenience, but they are willing to say yes because somebody has to start it. So the people who start, I'm like absolutely so grateful because it takes people like them to make the first step, get the market to know, and then hopefully this snowballs into something bigger. But without the first people to say, I'm willing to try this with you, this is not happening. Like there's somebody has to be first. So who are the first ones? I'm gonna use your washroom. I'll be right back.
You want to yes. I was
I think you'll be hearing it.
Actually, it's pretty good.
It is very soft.
Yeah, very tender. You know, I always said I'm not a big fan of Chinese food. I never, even I opened the restaurant. I'm not. My favorite food is Subway sandwiches.
Subway sandwiches. That's very unexpected. Okay.
That's my favorite because I want to. I like steak, French fries, steaks, and the kegs, but it's super expensive. The Baton Rouge is my range, maybe. Baton Rouge. So it's. I always like food everywhere. So the Chinese food is not my not favorite. I eat them almost every day, but it's not. I want to be simple. The Subway is really my favorite. I can eat Subway 7 days a week. But it costs a lot of money as well.
It costs a lot of money. Come on, it's like $5 a foot long. No.
Yeah. No, it's very here probably $5 costs you $7. 6 inches, maybe $7 in Montreal.
No, okay.
But $5 foot long was a long time ago for the United States. It never happened in Canada though.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
It never happened. I had a business trip to Dallas, Texas. Every time I went there, that's really...
You must have been so excited for the subway.
Subway is amazing. Everybody, the people in Texas there, I went there, I guess 3 business trips. Every time I go there, always long line, 2 lines same time.
Okay.
Nobody took 6 inches. Everybody went 12 inches. Everybody.
Wow. It's a lot of bread.
Yeah, but in Montreal, you maybe more than half will take 6 inches, right? Half people. Yeah. At least 50% I see.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, food is, but for the pandemic, I always stay in the restaurant. Like the food, I eat more and more our food. Now I even like start like more and more like Chinese food now. Even the chicken legs. Like this, like we have spicy diced chicken and dry wok chicken. They all use chicken legs.
Okay.
And I was thinking maybe 4 years ago, still I was thinking about to replace to remove the bones before serving, before cooking. So it would be easier, right?
Okay.
But then recently I realized like we should not do that. We just keep like with bones.
Is it too much work?
Not too much work because it just tastes different.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be with bones, like traditional, like a 3 cup. Where is a 3 cup chicken? Imagine this food with the flavor without bones will be a good sale.
Yes.
Will be.
I'm sold.
Yeah, but now I still like with bones. Like first of all, respect the tradition.
Okay.
And then like also the flavor is a bit different with bones. I don't know. It's could be a science there. Could be just fantasy.
Well, the whole food experience is more than just taste, right? There's the whole everything around it. I'm sure there's something to it.
Yeah. So I mean, more and more I like used to a month before the pandemic. Maybe I had 1 meal from the restaurant in a month. Now I almost have it every day.
Okay. Do you cook?
No, I don't cook. I cut vegetables, tons of them.
Okay. So this is all your work?
Yeah. We're short of staff, so I have to do a lot of stuff. And I was in the IT, full-time IT job. I was laid off end of April during the pandemic. So give me perfect time. Need to take up the restaurant.
What part of IT?
I was network engineer.
Okay.
So it's a network thing, Cisco, those kind of.
So you set up offices. And now people don't go to offices anymore.
That's part of exactly. You are smart.
Makes a lot of sense.
you are super smart. Yeah. And after that, everybody uses VPN to connect to the office network. As long as I have the internet, have VPN, my job is done. I have no job, no need.
So what's your do you have objectives now? Are you going to run the restaurant full time? Do you have plans?
I think so. As long as the business is okay, can support the family, I probably would like my personal. I can see right now maybe 4 or 5 years, and I hope I can keep the restaurant business okay to provide income for the family. At the same time, I want to like the show like this. I want to know people more, and then want to provide a digital space for conversations. For like I'm curious about my daughter's life experience with Chinese culture, Canadian culture. You know, speaking different languages. Like especially yours as well. So you moved here like 1 year old. There's one episode with a guy, probably your same age. He came here when he was 4.
Okay.
And he lived in Quebec City all the time. So he was one of our customers.
Oh, wow.
We met 7 years ago.
Wow.
And he was very, very open-minded. He was really socially aggressive. Like
socially aggressive?
Not aggressive, socially active.
Okay.
Really amazing. The guy is very, very, have the unique character. It's really amazing. Like
okay.
Not aggressive. Why did I say that word? So, but he's really amazing. It's a So he did a lot of drawing and was kind of successful career here already.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the way he grew up here in Quebec City, not in Montreal. His parents and Quebec City are French there, and then he was 4. And
his family was also from Hong Kong?
No, from where? From Tianjin.
Ah, okay.
So, but he was because sometimes when you came here when you are 7, 8, 9, when you are self-conscious, you go into a totally different environment, especially when your English or French not fluent. You know, sometimes you have problem play with the other kids. You know, sometimes you develop some kind of it's self-conscious when you are that age. You could kind of lock yourself. You know, but that's why but for him, he told me he did not know anything, so he kind of just played with everybody. So he did not feel like he was treated differently here or there. He was the only Chinese or Asian kid in the class, and he did not feel anything. You know, it's differentiated treatment or something. He was so happy. So that's the good thing for your character. You know, if you feel like you are left alone, or some people a little bit against you, some kids, so you will develop a little bit defensive mechanism or something, you know, affect your personality. That's a lot of, especially immigrants here, Chinese immigrants, their kids, they came here when they're 10, 11, even they go to the middle school here, directly from China to here. So when the kids, they don't speak perfect French or English, so naturally they have more difficulty to mingle, right?
Yeah. No, language is definitely a big barrier.
Yeah, big barrier. But when you are super young, 1 year old, or 2, 5, 4 years old, you came here, you just, okay, you have candy. Can I share your candy? You know? Your toy, my toy.
And then you learn dodo.
Yeah,
you go to sleep.
Yeah. It's amazing. So,
no, kids are super adaptable.
Yeah. That's why all this kind of also, I call myself like first generation immigrant, right? So we develop all the kind of stuff like the opinions, ideas about the world, everything in China already. I came here when I was 27, 25. So 27, probably 27 years old. So I kind of, my idea about the world, how everything, so already very, very Chinese. So we have people come here a little bit older than me, or a little bit younger than me, or even the first 1.5 generation immigrants.
1.5.
Yeah, exactly. And the second generation, they are totally CBC, right?
Yeah.
So their ideas, they're totally different to see, you know, the society. It's like for us, the immigrants, we kind of, you have a wall. We are the people sitting on the edge of the wall. We are sitting on the wall. We can see both sides. That gives you the challenge sometimes.
Okay.
Because the both sides, they are very different. Ideology, the ideas about the family, about society, everything. So the problem for you are sitting on the top of the wall and you see both sides, and you know that you have knowledge of both sides. That will mess up your thinking. Sometimes it will help you. Sometimes could be detrimental. Because it depends on how you handle it, right? Sometimes knowing too much is not good.
Okay.
There's some song they call it, if I tell you the truth, can you handle the truth, right?
Okay.
The truth is very tricky, the double-edged sword. You know the truth, but it may not be good to you, you know, if you cannot handle that. Handling the truth is very, very tricky. So that's why I always think, you know, that's why I want to have more interviews with different group of people, even Chinese or non-Chinese here, growing up here, or they immigrate from other countries. So the more ideas, more their stories to be shown, and you know more people, you have a puzzle, you can see humanity, people's stories, how people think, different people. You will figure out know better than you know less people.
Okay.
So but it's very challenging to be an immigrant. Like we use WeChat, for example, and for sure we have WeChat in Chinese. We have community here, Montreal Chinese people, and even some friends or classmates or family in China. So they all think very, very differently. Okay. So some of them, it's okay, thank you. So that's the challenge. You know too much information. For sometimes they know only one side story, and then probably they stay perfectly happy. They see the people from North Korea, they're happy because they know, oh, we have food, we have the. So if they don't know the other how people outside of the North Korea, how they live, they pretty feel good because they tell the information, you are happy already, But if you know too much information, a lot of information, it's really nice. But if you handle them, you always get the grass on the other side is green.
Okay.
If you always have the mentality, I want to have the grass, greener, and then you lose yourself sometimes because you cannot get both sides, right? It's always like in Chinese saying like, how do you say that?
In Cantonese, it would be 兩頭唔到岸. Both sides, you don't really touch the shore.
Exactly. You cannot. You are immigrants from China and to here, and then China is good at their thing, Canada is good at their thing. You cannot get both. It's just not reality.
No.
But you see, if for my perfect example for me, I moved out like that time. Our generation internet was booming. So if you stay at the same company, the same position, all my friends there has already make millions of dollars already.
Okay.
So if you say like, oh, if I have chosen to stay, I have much more money.
Okay.
But you say, look at something, it's different life. So you cannot expect you live here, the style of life, and then have a ton of cash in your bank, right? It's just not reality. That's why if you say both sides, it's really challenging to how to think, how to process the information you have, because you always compare. If you chose to stay, or some people even like they said, oh, one time I had a chance to immigrate to United States or Canada, but I chose to stay. Imagine if I'm outside right now, right? That's you don't have this choice. We have this choice because even today, every time the information we see both sides. Like any political or other social.
I was gonna see if you're gonna get into it.
No, I don't. We don't talk about. But even the social thing, the social phenomena, the both different sides they see totally different. It's 180 degree different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that's why I want to say like. Unfortunately, we cannot talk about like the politics or like for Chinese community. Otherwise, if they talk about on TV or something video, that would be amazing. That would be really beautiful. But unfortunately, it's not possible. But it's always the people's idea. Their most amazing thing. It's really pretty. It doesn't matter they're wrong or right. It's this guy's story, this guy's opinion on one thing. Even if it's a little bit off or something, there's no real standard. Somebody is wrong or right, but you see different options. It's like if you like braised pork belly, it's really amazing, right? Braised pork belly. Let's say you like braised pork belly a lot.
Let's say I like it.
And then I really want to eat every day. But if they really put that in reality, make you eat braised pork belly every day, you get a little bit too much, right? Fed up.
Okay, I think the better comparison to anybody who knows me is noodles. I love noodles. Yeah. I wish I could eat noodles every day. I could literally eat noodles every day. I don't know about you, but like I can have noodles every day. So it's person to person, and
so that failed. I tried to say you cannot eat noodles every day.
No, I will not do it for pork belly. So you're partially right.
Yeah, that's the opinion thing, I want to see different opinions on everything. It's more balanced. That's why I see like if we can more people get on the video to see different ideas.
Okay. So did we miss anything you'd like to cover? You'd like to find out?
Yeah, a lot of things, I guess.
Let me know.
On the bow thing, back to the bow thing, like
the bow thing.
How many restaurants, like a lot of them are signed up? Because for me, I think it's really good for 70 places, and the operation is simpler. if you go our kitchen, to be honest, like we're pretty busy for the not pretty busy, busier the evening than the lunch. So we have to, for the lunch time, the kitchen spend a lot of time preparing for the supper. So in the supper, when we went from 6 to 7:30, for example, that one almost 2 hours, we were really busy. Like everybody was running. So if we kind of add any kind of like the last straw on the camel's back, we cannot have that straw.
You're already at the straw. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that. Every day, like not every day. Tonight, maybe the Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday nights, not that crazy. But other nights, the kitchen already, everybody was running, almost screaming.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing that you bring up. One of the first things I told people is that Chinese restaurants are probably some of the last ones to join Bo.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's
because
crazy.
As somebody who has gone to Asia, as somebody who came from Asia, you know how much we value efficiency. Like the processes, like the restaurants, it's crazy, right? The efficient way where from the moment almost like the person sits down, the waiter's ready, takes the order right away, goes to the kitchen, gets it ready. Like nobody has time, everything moves super fast, and efficiency is...
And also, it's not good to have that super efficient because we cut corners.
You like service-wise, decor-wise, experience-wise, depend on the restaurant, but most of the average restaurant, let's say, like everything is hyper-organized to be like crank out as much volume as possible because there's so many people in Asia, right? So in order to supply to all these people, you need a system that's like absolutely like streamlined. That's why Chinese food, Chinese restaurants, the processes are not really designed to add an extra process, like you said. So I appreciate what you're trying to formulate, and I really hope you're not thinking that I'm here to like pitch you the idea. And everything you brought up is absolutely things that I am very well aware of because I've worked with restaurants for the past decade. I've seen the different cuisines. I've seen the different kitchens. I've seen the different levels, quality of management in different restaurants, right? There's some that are completely owner operated. There's some that are, you know what, like it's a concept. The owner pays, sets up, and then managers, things will run it like on automatic. So there's so many different systems out there, and I can tell you so many stories from my experience with the restaurant owners.
The reason I bring up sandwich place, I really like sandwich, like I like Subway. Like I really like myself, even like running a Subway restaurant.
Well, with franchises, it's even another type of system, right? Yeah. So I realize that with Chinese restaurants, it's probably to the point where the clients are telling them, like, where's the bows? Like, we now always order takeout with bows. Like, well, where's your bows? And then maybe they'll start thinking about it, and then maybe we'll start the conversation. But Chinese people on the whole, I hope it's not really a stereotype, but we are traditionalists. We don't really like new things. We like things that are proven to work. We're not...
That's like we're on the right side. We are the conservative.
But we are. Like, we have traditions. We have customs. There's ways that things are done that's been done for years and years for a reason. There's a reason for it. And so with new concepts, like even just my parents, they're like pretty young. But when you tell them something new, it takes some time before they're like, okay, we'll maybe try it. Right? It's hard to break into the routine because why would you want to mess with something that already works?
Working. Yeah.
It works.
That's my IT job. I work for the IT department.
Yes.
I serve all employees. We provide laptops, we network, everything. If it's not broken, don't touch it.
Exactly.
Don't touch it. Exactly. That's the mentality of the IT as well.
From the way the new things, novel things are just not really easily adapted into our culture. B, to just inherently the way the systems in Chinese restaurants are built for efficiency. Bo is not something that is very easy to incorporate in. I think further down...
The efficiency it's not we want to be efficient because I think our profit margin is too low. That's the
we
problem.
work on volume.
Yeah,
Like
that's
volume.
That's the biggest trap ever. That trap is hurting us, all of us. You cannot do volume. You cannot. It's not like on the grocery. You just pick it and then we go to the cashier. It's not working. You have to have people cut vegetable like me, and then people cook it. That's the biggest trap. I've been in this business for almost 8 years. That's the volume sale. It's the biggest trap for the restaurant business, especially Chinese restaurant. So the reason I'm busy like crazy, but I'm not making a lot of money, is the profit margin. But profit margin is not what I want to raise the price. I want to have a decent margin. The problem is like it's decided by the market, supply and demand. So it's always, you cannot break that rule. That rule is the market rule.
I think partly there's a fallacy in there, though, because if you can break yourself out of that mold and have certain quality where nobody, like, it's not easy for another restaurant to copy, then people will pay the price. I'm not that guy.
Otherwise, I would be successful. I know that's very, very nice to have, but I don't think I can do that because, if I can do that, I will be really successful. I will retire early. I will do everything I like. I have a lot of stuff to want to do. But unfortunately, I still work 7 days a week now, every day. It's
You're talking to a workaholic. Working 7 days sounds amazing. Like, that sounds good to me.
No, for me, I hope I work 0 days a week.
0 days a week, yes.
Yeah, 0 days. It's unfortunate. It's a huge trap. I've been, like I said, in this business for a long time. It's very, very bad. I see, like, even today, I could regret, like, I have a stable IT job, full-time IT job. Was, like I said, I work only 2 hours a day maybe because nothing breaks.
You're not supposed to touch the things that are not broken.
Yeah, everybody has internet. They connect to the VPN, to the customer network. I work network. I take up the office IT, the network part. So if VPN is working, the security tunnel is customer side, and the office is secure. But I'm not sure it's secure now. At least I'm not saying we are hacked. We like our team were really relaxed. Like that's why I get trapped too comfortable, like too relaxed, and then I got too bored. So then I made a mistake to having investment that time. This
story's not done. Yeah. We'll see how the story turns out. I mean, there's still so much for you to explore, to experiment, and so many conversations for you to have here. So don't write it off as like a mistake yet. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be 80% chance. It's very, very. I really have a lot of issue with the margin thing, profit margin. It's crazy because as a business owner, you pay people, and then you every day have income, sales, and then you have cost of food, you have rent, you have the maintenance, the equipment. You replace it every once a year for some equipment. You have always sometimes, this week something broken. Oh man!
I didn't tell you. I also opened a restaurant like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes, I did. So everything you say is very familiar.
Yeah.
And it was.
You were really tough, crazy woman.
Crazy is one way to describe me. Yeah. No, it was. The timing was really good or really bad, whichever you want to say, because it was the end of 2019.
Yeah.
So 2019, September, we opened the restaurant. And as you know, March of 2020, things were shut down, crazy, right? So the timing, we had 6 months to build up the business. And I have to tell you, out of all the projects that I've undertaken, the restaurant was one of my least favorite. In terms of the amount of work you have to put in, just how much energy, how much is out of your control, because on a day where you don't know if suddenly there's a group of people who walk down the street and then fill up your whole restaurant, staffing is a question. Yeah. On days when you have fully staffed and no customers, it's so many things outside your control, and it drives me absolutely crazy. So I like things where like you have a little more
steady flow.
It's more equal in trade. Effort equal benefit. Effort equals so I did do that experiment. So everything you say, like, and then equipment breaks, and then the plumbing breaks, and then the fridge doesn't work.
Yeah, fridge.
Oh my god!
And the worst, we had one day in my whole history of the restaurant business, we had only 6 customers the whole day. 6 customers in the whole day.
Yeah, and the worst part is all the bills don't stop,
Yeah,
right?
they don't stop because
the revenue is unstable.
What kind of restaurant do you?
It was a brunch restaurant.
Oh, that's the Alo Coco thing, or
something like that.
It's a franchise.
It's not a franchise, and it's an independent restaurant. And that really gave me a really good window to look into how the lives of my customers are.
Yeah, it's a brunch like a Western. It's a kind of Western Canadian style brunch. Yeah, that's relatively easy, I guess, comparing to Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese food is really, really difficult. There's just so much variety. There's so much specialty, and I think you're very much at the mercy of the chef.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't even be like, I'll go make an egg if there's no chef today. You can't. Like, how are you going to make the 3-cup chicken by yourself, not knowing anything about the Chinese cuisine?
And also, there's a lot of chances you make mistakes because different people. We have several people working in the kitchen. Anyone could make mistakes here or there. You know, it's kind of human errors. Too many human errors.
That's it. So not only did you pick up one of the most difficult industries to work with, you also picked one of the more difficult cuisines to run. So
that's why. It's
just like your stomach. When you were eating the rice and the soup, you're training yourself to be really tough.
Actually, I'm writing a book right now. It's the autobiography. Okay. Right, because I'm from. It's interesting. My father, he's still in the village. The whole life is very poor, and he's 75. It's amazing, and it's really amazing the hard life he has lived. And one time, I guess 2 days ago, I always like to write a book about the experience because I lived through 1979 to 80s, 90s. I sing countryside. And I think Tianjin, the big city, Shenzhen, the big city. I had a lot of difficulty when I was super young. I could not pay the tuition fee from grade 1 to grade 8. So every first day I was sent back from the school by the teacher. The first day, humiliated like every time, especially when you're teens, and you
just kept coming back.
Yeah. The pride. There's no self pride, not so ever. So I had my own self, at least several times, I was at the brink of doing something crazy, stupid, killing people when I was young. It was that bad, really, really bad. So, but somehow I was lucky to overcome the stuff. My first job was really amazing. So financially gave me stability and kind of get healed because I read a lot of books here, there, and then, as I told you, I always heal myself with the thought processing. Okay. So I have a lot of these crazy memories, real story, and I write a book always. But 2 weeks ago, I started putting together. I have 7 pages already so far in Chinese, but I'm gonna translate them in English. That's the reason I don't want to them in Chinese. I will use Chinese to finish the book, but then I translate them into English by myself. But I only publish them in English.
Very cool.
And I asked my father, because I know my father's dad passed away when he was 5, 6. That's why he had a really tough life in the countryside. You have no male adult in the family, you will be really problem. The family will have. So my father got really tough childhood, and then whatever he came out, it's very crazy story, very great story actually. So I was asked, what year, how old were you when your dad passed away? So he was really sensitive. He said, okay, I tell you when I was 5. And then why did you like that? Why did you ask? And I said, okay, I kind of write a story about about myself there. Oh, he said, you're writing a autobiography. I said, yeah, I kind of admitted. He said, that's interesting. He told me he wants to read the book first, in Chinese.
So now you have to write it in Chinese and then in English.
No, that was my original plan too.
Okay.
Because to be honest, we don't talk about politics in Chinese. The same thing. I don't want to write because it's the memory, the real story, the people there, how the system working there, society, social system here, there, because it's real. So I don't want to write it in Chinese. It could offend some people, could cause trouble for some people. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe a mystery. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe yes. So that's why I want to hold that maybe Chinese version, the real version, original version. Maybe when I'm 70 years old. I don't.
Oh, so there's no like it's okay. I'm done with life.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Exactly. That could be it. But that's really amazing. My dad was really he liked because we were from countryside. He got only 3 years education whole life, only grade 3. That's all because his dad passed away.
Wait till you publish your book. He's going to be so proud to have a writer in the family. Like that's a big Chinese thing.
No, I was planning 2 weeks ago to finish in 3-4 years in Chinese, but now I need to speed up because he wanted to see it, want to read. So
or you give him to him like in chapters. It's like, oh, to be continued every week.
No, I to keep it secret, probably I will like print it on the printer, like 400 pages in Chinese. I will bring back to him, and then we burn it.
Really?
Just keep it safe.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's really interesting because he's in his 70s, and the whole life he
Would
did
you
not.
like some water?
Yeah, the water will be fine. Let me finish this. Yeah, it's really surprising. I was really shocked, like because like sometimes when you write stuff, the real stuff, you will expose something may not be very fancy, very nice, pretty side of the. If I write story, it would be real crazy stuff.
Okay.
It would be really blow some people's mind. It's I saw firsthand a lot of things happen to our family, to our neighbors, our relatives, everything. So it would be crazy, and something may not be very positive on my dad side, on my mom, on my everybody. So I will be real, even what I was thinking when I was grade 1, grade 2, and the feeling I was expelled, I was sent back home by the teacher on the first day for almost 8-9 years. I was really humiliated, and it affected me a lot. So I was really angry when I was 12, 13, 14, and in the college time, I had a lot of physical fights with classmates because it's like easy to be offended. It's defensive and super sensitive. It's a lot of stuff. I was on the brink. It's crazy, like on the edge of the cliff. It's so when my dad never knew that. Because for me, I'm just far away. I'm in the college, in the senior high school. So we have 5 years in the village. My elementary school in the village, 5 years. With no kindergarten, never. That's a foreign thing to us. No kindergarten. So grade 1 to grade 5, and then junior high school 3 years in the town. It's very poor town. And then 3 years in the senior high school. That's in the county. County is less. Below the city, right? It's a countryside as well. Okay. So that's 5 + 3, 3. After that, university time. Okay. So it's a crazy time. So that time, like I had a lot of like ideas that was treated badly here, there. The parents, they don't know. They were busy like crazy, so they did not know at all. So if I write those stuff, how I was thinking, probably he was kind of shocked. But it's good to know, to be honest. Just want to put the real facts there. But now I speed up. Every night I write about 1 page, like probably 400 pages on the Word. That would be almost because the Word like more like the fonts on the real paper. Probably like if it's 400 pages on the document, probably would be 500 pages on the real book. It's interesting, but my dad was really really surprised me. Like he liked to read. Like he's 75 years old.
No, for sure.
It's a lot of secrets, But that would be my first book. Second book was definitely about the restaurant.
I like how you're already thinking second book. I'm gonna have a trilogy.
Yeah.
the origin, the restaurant, and then the finale.
The restaurant would be crazy, but again, some secrets is because restaurant relate to a lot of people we work with or something that have to readapt, have to keep some secrets, leave some secrets, release some. It's very tricky. So restaurant will be interesting because I stumbled into this business. I did not know it was really this hard, this complex. This is crazy. It is really complex. I really think even today, I think I'm really smart, actually. I think I'm really smart. I can figure out a lot of things. But this one is really difficult to tackle.
Yep.
Very, very difficult to fix. Very, that's why sometimes if I chosen different trade, it could be easier.
Easier, but not as fun.
This is too much fun.
Too much fun. Party every day.
How's your restaurant there? It's
Oh, we shut it down. It's really not my favorite project.
But done.
Done.
Okay.
So now I'm starting both. Gotta focus my energy. The future.
Yeah, it's really amazing. You have this kind of energy.
Oh, people tell me you're gonna run out of that, like maybe I don't know, in your 40s or 50s or whatever.
You're still very young. Brave.
I'm gonna use the energy before I run out because I know it's gonna run out. Everybody tells me.
Yeah, you have the courage. The courage is the foundation virtue of all virtues, right?
Really?
Yeah, the courage.
My mom says too much.
It's like from Winston Churchill, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, without the courage, all virtues for nothing, because you cannot act. The courage is the foundation of all virtues. That's from Churchill. Yeah, it's a famous quote.
I think courage also implies the fear, and my mom just worries that I don't have enough fear because a healthy dose of fear is good to let you use cautious.
The
cautiousness.
Parents always fear.
Yeah.
The kids that will make huge mistakes because you don't have the fear. The same. I have my.
That's why I tell my mom, no worries. Either this is going to explode and then this is going to be amazing, or I'm going to be sued to the ground and I'll come back and live home. It's fine.
You grew up where? In the Brossard?
Brossard, yeah.
Yeah, that's the...
Of course.
Yeah. How so is that? I thought the Brossard has a lot of people from Hong Kong, right?
Remember, I was 1 when we moved here, so it's not like I made a lot of decision on housing back then.
Yeah, that's also the KongFu is huge.
I now live downtown, so
but
I'm back there once in a while.
In the KongFu Brossard, it's every time when they open, they have a big line. They have a long line for.
I didn't know that. I thought I'd calm down.
Really, it's huge. I guess the people from Hong Kong moved here, so they all like. Some of them in their 60s, 70s, they enjoy the morning tea time, right? 早茶, 下午茶. It's huge. The dim sum. Yeah, it's crazy. In Shenzhen, we had a huge. Shenzhen the same. Like every the 早茶酒楼. It's crazy. It's
a really big part of our culture.
Yeah.
It's about like food is a big thing in Chinese culture, and the 早茶 is a way to exchange information, to socialize, and eat. And you can do that for. Here you wanted to do 2 hours, they can easily be like a whole day thing. You see older people, they wake up at like 8 in the morning, they start 早茶 until like noon.
There's no difference between morning tea and afternoon tea.
No, you can transition. You can transition within the same meal.
It's amazing. As I said, in Hong Kong, I stayed several months, and we went to the Cha Canting. It's amazing. They have the Hong Kong tea, Hong Kong milk tea.
Have you tried the one at Yinji?
They have that thing.
Oh,
is it real?
God.
Is it real?
Yinji Changfen.
Yeah, I know that one. But the Hong Kong tea is the real.
Cha Huang.
Really?
Yes.
Because I remember in
Oh, come on. It's like 2 steps away. You
know.
must try that. Like, at least after our conversation, you're going to have to go try.
Okay, I will
Service lab client.
Yeah.
Very clean dishes.
And in Hong Kong, it's a regular restaurant. The Cha Canting, they have the shuangping.
Yeah.
But they always have the glass, the plastic cup with the tea, with the milk tea. It's red tea, right? Made of red tea, whatever the
Ceylon.
Yeah, before this one, before the one you mentioned, there was no real Hong Kong milk tea, right?
Dobenandi.
What that?
Dobenandi. Feng Lam.
Oh, dope and I always go. It's in the international shopping mall, right? It's
in Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown. It's the international 国际商场.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always when there's an old guy doing the cha xiao.
Now there's 2 young guys doing the cha xiao.
Oh, the guy retired.
Yeah.
Is a daddy? That guy is a daddy of
an uncle.
Uncle. He was that. I walking downtown. I every time I got for the roast duck, I got there. I got from.
There you go.
Yeah.
So why would you say there's nothing here? There's plenty of pretty classy restaurants.
No, they have the real. I thought they're doing the like a roasted duck, but not the Hong Kong milk tea though. The real Hong Kong milk tea. I did not know that. That's interesting. I need to
if only we can set up. We can probably set up. If you ask them nicely, they'll probably give you a corner, and then we can eat there next time too. You can bring your camera.
Yeah, if you actually that would be my extension of this eat with the owner. If like some other restaurant owner, we can do together. That would be the double your offer. Like the owner, eat with the owner.
Shout out Eric, Edmund.
Yeah,
it's happening here.
Yeah, eat with the owner. Owner eat with the owner. That give you double. You know.
More bang for the buck you didn't pay.
Actually, if you know people who can connect, it's amazing.
Just say the word.
Yeah, I'm always open to all the owners. We can have some, because the restaurant owners now you are part of restaurant owners. You had one. You qualify. You register yourself.
I think I did it just to be able to say, "Yep, been there, done that." That's it. Thank you very much for the meal. This was absolutely delightful. Yeah. It was so much fun. Yeah. It was a great chat. I think we need to do it again. I think between the two of us, with the Chinese part and then the Canadian part, we could probably talk for more hours. Yeah. So, but before we reorganize, we'll make some coordination.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much for coming. So we done, or we?
I think we're good.
Okay, great. So we wrap this up. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.